studios in Oklahoma City. This is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson. The Cowboys went to South Carolina and had potentially their worst shooting day that they're going to have in a long time. At least they hope so. Now they're going to try to get back on the winning track in another road game as they go to Memphis. And John Helsley joins us on the telephone to talk all things Cowboys. And John, let's rewind to that South Carolina game for just a second. It was on Saturday, the day of Bedlam, so a lot for Cowboy fans to cheer about on the football field. But on the basketball court, that game raised some concerns. How concerning was it to you?
Well, it was concerning to me from the fact that it's really the first time this season that they've been defended really well. And so you immediately start to wonder, well, is this a real warning sign? That, I don't think so. I talked to Travis Ford about that. He doesn't think so. He just thinks it was a bad combination of several guys having an off day at the same time. I know it was an 11 a.m. start for those guys' body clocks. I think there was a little bit of talk about that could just be excuses. But, I don't think it's going to be a major issue going forward, but definitely something to pay attention to.
John, I watched a little bit of that game before I headed out for the Bedlam football game, and it looked to me like South Carolina had some size that the Cowboys had some struggles with. There's not a ton of teams in college basketball that have, great inside size that can shut off those driving lanes like South Carolina did, especially early, kind of set a tone that way. But you've got one in Texas. Kansas always seems to have some bigs when you talk about conference foes. Is that a little bit of a blueprint of maybe how to turn off LeBron Nash from getting to the hole and things like that?
Absolutely, and you're right. They had size. Even outside, they had some guys with some length that could really affect some shots. I think that's one of the reasons why you saw the three-point shooting percentage so low. And, that's going to be a thing. And I think LeBron's going to have to learn to be more aggressive in there and not be passive. He can do things so well with his left hand. He's got a very strong left hand. He's got to utilize that when he gets near the bucket with those big guys because they probably aren't expecting that. But, you're right. Texas is going to be a team that's huge this year. You're right. KU always has some guys that can fill the lane quite well. And, they need LeBron to get off to a good start. That's one of the things I noticed about the game. When he gets off to a bad start, a lot of times he doesn't pull out of it, and then when the other guys are struggling, it's just a bad recipe.
Yeah, snowball there for sure, and did get away from the Cowboys. Probably not that much of a point discrepancy between those two teams, but obviously the final score is what it is. And now, as we mentioned before, trying to get back on the winning track after a week of finals, the team not playing and probably practicing in between tests and those sorts of things. They go to Memphis on Saturday, John. Memphis, a big name, but not necessarily as powerful as some years past. What do you expect in this game, considering what the Cowboys are coming off of?
Yeah, and Travis Ford, knowing Travis, he probably wanted to come back and practice Saturday night.
Right.
And what you mentioned with the finals, and it's so dicey trying to get your practice time in. I'm sure it's driving him crazy this week. But, Memphis, believe it or not, a team with, if they have a strength, it's inside. They bring a couple guys back from a year ago. It's on the perimeter at the guard spots where they're brand new. And so they're going to have to figure some things out. They're going to have to knock down those open shots when they get them. It's a big game for them, I think. Coming off that performance, you're going back on the road again. You'd hate to lose two in a row when things were going so well.
Definitely so. All right, thanks, John. Sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.